Ooh. Happy Thursday. I can't believe it's Thursday again. As always, it is amazing to see you. So I'm sorry I haven't been here the last 2 weeks. Actually, I'm not sorry, because I've been taking the time to create stuff for you guys. And I'm actually very excited about that. And I can't wait for you to see what I made for you. So today, today's interesting because everything in me kind of didn't really want to do this today, if I am being extremely honest. Just in light of the case and just kind of being a woman in America, being a Black woman in America, and all the things that means for our existence, my existence, your existence, and I was a little discouraged. Like my energy sapped, like for a good amount of the day. But here's the thing: regardless of what's happening around us, I know that there's purpose in each individual, and we still have to show up for ourselves and our community as much as we possibly can, because that's what we're here for, right? That's what we're kind of warring against. We're warring against complacency and the idea that we can't do things because of external factors that are extremely scary, injustices and all the things. And we still have to do our part to end those things. And that means protesting, that means working, providing money, providing education. And those things don't happen if we don't show up. So regardless of how I was feeling today, I still have to show up. And I am grateful for you, for your showing up and everything you're doing. I'm grateful for the rest that you're taking as well. That's also very important. You can't show up when you're empty. So make sure you also take your rest as well. So speaking of people who show up, today we are talking to Andrea Walker, who is just a serial entrepreneur. Like, she's just an amazing person who, the first thing I've known her for was IROC, which is an organization in Philadelphia that supported people who had HIV and AIDS, and also really encouraged people to get tested, which is a huge deal. Now, also her book, A Beautiful Struggle, which was about her life when she found out at 10 years old, that her mother had HIV/AIDS, and just everything that happened thereafter. It's an incredible story. She's an incredible person. She's gone on to create so much more and help so many people. And I'm super excited to talk to her today about everything she's working on now. So, guys, I'm super excited to introduce you to Andrea Walker. Hi!
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
So, it's my pleasure. I remember when I think you actually came to a brunch, and that was the first time I met you.
I did.
Because Lauren was like, you have to meet her, and then there you were.
Yes.
Super glad to meet you. So I said, my part, but you feel free to introduce yourself, please.
You know what? I think you really summed it up. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but I'm recently a full-time entrepreneur. I'm kind of diving headfirst into this business coaching and just helping people get their businesses, for-profits and nonprofits, off the ground, pursuing their dreams, and just helping them to cultivate multiple streams of income, as I see that this is a necessity now. This is just not an option anymore.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And you recently bought your house, girl. That's amazing.
I did. Thank you.
You are that's huge, right? To be an entrepreneur who actually bought something very physical, that's encouraging, that's inspiring.
It is, I don't think that in the time that I was doing it, I realized how inspiring it was.
Yeah.
until it happened. And then people started saying like, oh my God, like you really inspired me to, you know, take this step or do this or do that. But more so for me, it was, of course, personal, but also personal in the sense that my children, you know, were with me through this entire process. And
Yeah.
to see, you know, how amazing they feel. And every day, just like, oh my God, Mom, this is our house. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. Children are so inspiring when you're an entrepreneur, because it's like you want them to know, that everything is possible. Like, do you like involve your kids in your work?
Not really. My son is 15 and he still doesn't understand what I do. So, you know, he's like, do you have a job? Do you not have a job? Where do you get money from? How do you pay for things? You're always here. What's going on? My
Right.
kids, you know, my younger kids, my daughters are like, you're always talking to people. Is this like, are you like a therapist? I'm like, I'm not a
Kind of.
therapist, but they don't really understand what I do. I don't think that they think that or realize that what I do is a real job to them.
Yeah.
It's like, mommy's always here. So she doesn't go anywhere there. You know, she's always home with us. So she can't really have a job, right? Because in their minds, you know, a job or a career is somewhere that you go, not
Yeah.
something that you do. It's a place that you got to go to. So, yeah,
That's
they're
awesome.
not really aware.
Trust me, I get it. We're in the same boat. My husband and I both work for ourselves, so we're always here. And my son's like, we're
Right,
always here.
right.
They don't get it. Oh my gosh. So what have you been working on recently? So I know you've launched a new product, and I've seen it popping up, and I'm just like, hey, girl, tell me all about it.
So recently I launched Business Inside Hustle 101, everything that nobody wants to tell you about. So it's basically a 4-week online course where I explain what I do for my clients. So I help clients already. They come to me and they're like, Andrea, I want to start a business. And I need you to file my paperwork. And then I need you to help me put systems in place. And then I need you to help me with my marketing and then my branding. So I do that for my clients. But I wanted to launch a course because I started getting overwhelmed and inundated with clients. And I couldn't keep up with the demand. So I didn't want to, turn down people, but I got this idea that if I could teach everybody what I know, then they could do it themselves, right? And they can keep doing it themselves and keep doing it themselves. Yeah. And I remember when I had this idea and I was talking to a business friend of mine, and she was like, well, why would you tell everybody how to do it? Then they're not going to need you anymore. And I'm like, there are billions of people in the world. And a part of what I'm teaching my clients is how to monetize. So why wouldn't I monetize what I'm doing? A 4-week online course that people all over the world could possibly take. There's no way in the world that I could possibly service that many people alone by myself, one-on-one. So this course basically walks you through the process of filing your paperwork with the state, building your business credit, monetizing your business, branding, marketing, and I'm actually adding a component for the top of the year where I'll be teaching ads as well. So, it's basically everything that nobody really wants to tell you about how to run your business.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. And you've done a lot, right? Because I remember did you have a hair salon at one point?
I did. Yeah. A hair salon and a beauty supply store.
Right. So I mean, honestly, especially having that kind of brick and mortar and online experience, and to be able to even integrate that together, that's right. Kind of a big deal. Do you still have those?
So I have my online beauty supply store, and I have an online. I guess it's the same, one and the same. So I sell extension hair, and we sell beauty supplies as well, but more so the extension hair than anything.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. How did you decide to get into that? Did you say hey, let me drop ship this, or let me
No,
these
I
days.
don't drop ship actually. I physically package and I do more so a lot of local deliveries. So I started, and it's really weird when I say this name, people never know that this is my business. I started Philly Hair Guys 4 years ago. And um, what I did was I came up with this idea. So I grew up in a household where my sister always owned a hair salon. As long as I can remember, she owned a hair salon. And that's a really, a big industry. Hair and beauty supply, that's a huge industry. So one day I had this idea that I wanted to tap into that. But I'm not a hairstylist, right? And I can't do makeup or anybody else's. So I'm like, well, what can I do? And I realized, even though I don't wear hair extensions, that it was a huge market. This is when hair extensions went from the pack, like pack hair you could get from like 1999.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they were selling bundles, right? And bundles were like $200 and $300. And I'm like, oh my God, people are paying for that. That's crazy. So I had this idea one day. I was like, maybe I should sell bundles. But then I started thinking about the marketing piece of it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't wear bundles. So how would I persuade people to wear bundles, right? Yeah. I can't market it myself. I would have to hire someone and get brand ambassadors and things like that. And I remember, just having this idea with I started the business with my children's father, and he was like, females love getting compliments on their hair from men. And I said, well, I think a woman would buy from a man faster than they would buy from me because I don't wear weave. So it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. But if a man was selling this hair, then they would probably be like, he think it's nice, then my man or my husband is going to think it's nice. And that's why I came up with the idea that this would be, people would think this is a man or men that's running this business. And I came up with the name Philly Hair Guys, and we started online. And I started realizing that people in Philadelphia wanted this like Amazon product. They want it today, tomorrow, by 7 p.m., by tomorrow at 2 p.m. So then we started doing a lot of local deliveries. Probably 80% of our clientele is here in Philly. So then as we grew, I had to hire a driver, and it just took off from there. And I still don't do drop ship, even though I can teach drop ship. At one point in time, I tried to do it. I just didn't like the outcome of it. It didn't feel like it fit into the branding part of what I wanted to do with my business.
Yeah. No, I understand that completely, because it doesn't necessarily feel personal, depending on like how it happens and like the different places it's coming from, and then it becomes like a whole thing of like, what does packaging even look like, and do the things ship together, and then it's a whole process of just like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I love that. Like, I love the idea of like even scaling and hiring somebody, right? So like, how did we even decide, like, I think one thing that a lot of people don't necessarily think about in terms of starting a business is their variable costs, and how there are, shifting amounts of money you're going to have to pay to run the business. So I mean, like, how did you end up saying like, okay, this is worth it to like hire someone to help me scale this?
Well, I hired somebody 2 years ago when I was still working full time, right? So I was doing all the packaging, and like I said, people want hair today. They'll text, call, email. Hey, can I get hair right now? So that's when I started the idea of the hair salon, the beauty supply store, the physical location, right? And then when I closed the physical location, people had nowhere to meet to get this or come to get this. And I was at work. So it's like, I'm at work, my kid's father is at work. Who's going to deliver this hair? I can't tell everybody to meet me at 6 p.m. or 3 o'clock on my lunch hour. So that's not working for me. And then I just said, this is how much I'm profiting, and I probably could profit 3 times this amount if I just invested in hiring someone. So I didn't look at it as a loss in any way. I felt like it was very necessary in order for me to grow and expand my business, because I was losing out on so much money by being at work, right? And not being able to service my clients on a demand that they wanted.
I I love it. I think a lot of people are afraid to delegate things like that because they feel like it like removes the personal touch. How did you kind of make sure that, you know, your personal touch was still happening with this person?
So one of the things is that I do all of the communication. Either me or my kid's father do all of the communication. You never communicate with our delivery person except during delivery. So that way there's a constant tone in conversation. There's a constant brand behind the tone. All of that matters. All of that is important. People like to feel like they're personally talking to you, even though people don't know that I am a woman, right? They feel like they're talking to Philly hair guys all the time, no matter what. And that needs to continue across all of my platforms, whether it's on social media, whether it's through email, whether it's through text message. And then finally you get this package and this man shows up because you think that you've been talking to this man this whole time. And he has no clue who you are. He just has a package for you, right? And he just shows up with a smile to deliver your hair. That's it.
I love it. I love it. You kind of, not to say you maintain the illusion, but you're the man behind the curtain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody laughs. I actually didn't start publicly claiming my business until about a year ago. Once I closed down my hair salon, because once I had the physical location, there was no need for me to tell anybody that this was my product. You know, you just came to a hair store and you brought this hair, right? It didn't matter who owned the hair store or anything like that. They just wanted to pick up this product. But once I closed it down and I started shifting from being behind the scenes to actually coaching people and helping them with their business, of course, I then had to say, listen, I'm not just telling you that I can help you do this. I have proof. Here's my receipt. You know, here, this is my business. And they're like, oh my God, you know, I know that business. And I'm like, I know. So imagine if I can do that for my own self and my own business, and you are potentially a client or someone that you know is potentially a client. And all this time, all you knew was Philly hair guys. That right there speaks for itself.
I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Like people are kind of afraid to move out of their personal brand and into like an entity. Like so that speaks to me very much.
I say you got to become whatever your business is. You have to become that. Become whatever that is. And because I started, like that was one of my first businesses. And now I feel like that kind of made me feel like I can become any business at this point, anything. So, you know, I started Love in a Box online last year, which is the luxury. Love in a Box online is a luxury forever flowers and forever roses that we deliver locally, right? So I started that, and that is the new thing, the new wave. And people are like, that's your business. And I don't even have to really run that. That business runs itself, right? And then I did Lit Luxury Travels at the beginning of last year, which is a luxury boutique for a travel company.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you name it, and I feel like I can adapt to it and I can become that business.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember you sent me something about love in a box, and like I've seen those forever flowers before. They're so cool.
Yeah, and of course they don't last forever, but who wants the same flowers forever, right? We want them to last for a long time, and it seems like forever. Like I've had these forever, and it's like, yeah, you really only had them 6 months, but okay, we'll go with forever.
I super love it. Oh my gosh. So like, what is your driver, right? Like, what is the reason you even do any or all of this? Like, what's your thing?
You know what? At first it was money, of course. We are all motivated by money, right? And then it became freedom. I thought that I could keep my 9 to 5 forever and do all of these different things on the side. And then I started realizing that I didn't have control over my own time. My daughters are 9 and 10 now, but for a lot of years when they were younger, I missed a lot of important things, play dates and after school and dance recitals and, different things like that. I realized like I'm never going to have control of my time if I'm always tied to corporate America in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. So then that became my goal to become, be able to be in control of my time, because I felt like I was in control of every other area of my life, but the largest area of my life I had absolutely no control over, right? So that became my drive. And now it's changed. So now I have control over my time, and now it's being able to control my children's destinies, right? Their financial destinies, the things that they see, places that they go, the things that they experience in life. We always talk about how we want to do better for our children, and a lot of people equate that with monetary or material things. Yeah. I equate that with experience. So one of the things I want to do by next year is be able to homeschool my kids as I travel. So right. I want to go ahead and dive headfirst into luxury travels, and every 2 months. So I have 2021 is planned out. And every 2 months we're on a new vacation, and I want to be able to take my children and I want to be able to homeschool them while we travel. So I want to be able to control their experience, and that really drives me.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's super fun, because I think the biggest education you can have is travel, like experiencing the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. And right now they're really excited, and I think that raises the bar for them, because we can buy whatever, at some point you can just buy whatever. And those things, I don't think children really remember. I think that if you create a memory, if you create an experience, that is something that they always look forward to and something that they always remember.
I love it. I love that so much. Oh, yay. That's amazing. So one of my big things that I think about with my clients is how to create a business that you can exit, right? Mm-hmm. So that you can have a business and not just the things. So like what is your exit strategy, and how are you kind of working on that? And like what is the next level for you?
So next level for me is being able to position others and employ others. So right now I'm happily employing 3 people. And that feels good to me, because it feels like I am doing something. I'm taking a chance on someone, right? I am rewriting or reinventing the wheel when it comes to employment. I'm not looking at resumes. I'm not asking you, for 3 professional references or anything like that. I'm asking you to bring your drive, your determination, and your willingness to learn and be creative, right? And this is something that I've never had a chance to experience. I've worked in corporate America forever, and they've always wanted to know what kind of degree I had and how many times I volunteered and what board of directors did I sit on, and if I had 3 professional references. And it was like, I'm more than that, right? Yeah. So to me, this is important, to be able to employ others without all of those stereotypes. And like I said, I really just want to recreate or reinvent the wheel when it comes to employing people. So my exit strategy really just looks like bringing on a lot of people that look like you and I, and giving them a chance in whatever area, even if it's areas that they have absolutely no experience in, right? Because everybody wants to know, how many years experience do you have doing this? Some people just don't have experience, but how will they ever have experience if nobody ever gives them a chance, right? And being able to pour into people, young and old, and help them to obtain their goals, and also give them a salary that they will feel proud about, that they feel like, I can take care of my family. I don't have to rob Peter to pay Pan or whatever. I don't have to do that. So that's important to me. That kind of like drives me to feel like when I'm done, physically working, I would have built this system of people, this machine that can run without me, because I've trained these people from, the very beginning. They know my businesses. They are what make my business run. You can't be a one-man show forever. And I try to tell people that you have to learn to delegate. You have to learn to hire people. You can't run every aspect of your business. You have to monetize. You have to put systems in place. I don't know. Do you follow, or were you following the six-figure chick?
Of course.
Oh my God. Okay, so she recently passed away, right? God bless her. God rest her soul. So she mentored me for 2 years, right? And now that she's passed away, do you see that her brother and her family is still running her Fortune 500 company, billion-dollar company? Like, that is what I aspire to do. Yeah. If something happens, I just wanted to continue to go on. Yeah. But there were systems in place. She put, everything in place. She trained people. She put people in position to be able to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to look like at the end. But until I get there, training and bringing people on, helping them to understand what goes on behind the scenes, and basically just teaching them how to run a business, right?
That's such a great example.
Oh, your sound went out. I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Let's
see. Is that my sound?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Nope, not mine. I don't think. Let's see. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Can
you hear me?
Interesting.
All right. 1 second.
Okay.
Let's see. Nothing. All right, let's see.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, nothing. Let's see. You want me to exit and try to come back in?
Yeah. Let's try. Okay, so hide that. Hey guys, hey. And we're gonna figure this out. All right, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great.
Great.
Look at us solving problems.
I know, right? Sometimes these things happen.
Man, listen, and you gotta keep moving. Like, that's literally just it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so her legacy is CC Gunn. Her legacy is actually kind of amazing. And I've really been enjoying seeing how her account has still been going.
Like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, oh wow, so we're just going to keep this going. Once I got those first couple of emails, I was like, oh, so this just goes on. Okay, I can do this.
Right.
But I feel like to an extent they had to keep going because there were people who purchased like 6-month programs and 1-year programs, and they had to continue to get that. So what were you going to you can't just shut down
right
those folks, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That was amazing.
No, that's amazing. And it's like filled with such integrity. Like, because they could have been like, well.
Right. Like, oh, well.
No, and that definitely speaks to her brand. and the fact that she was full of integrity. And so it's like, well, you kind of have to continue on in that same same set of values.
Right.
Yeah, like seriously. So like, what is a value? Speaking of values, what is a value that you feel like your brand has that you want your people to kind of like know and remember and recognize about you?
I want people, so this is interesting. I want people to be able to feel like I paid for X, Y, and Z, but I got X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we pay for things. At least I've recently started feeling like I pay for things and I'm not getting what I'm paying for. That people are selling crap. It's just crap, and it's like, are you kidding me? So I want people to really feel that they spent their money and they got whatever it was that they paid for plus whatever. I want them to feel like, wow, this was an amazing investment. I got, such a huge return on my investment that I would have paid this times 10, right? So that's important to me. I think that's important to me because like I said, I've been experiencing that a lot, like feeling like I need a refund. Like I'm gonna need a refund on this because this is not it.
Dang it.
This is not what I paid for.
I understand completely. Especially like in this internet age where like anyone can kind of do anything, like anyone can do anything.
Yep.
And like it's different. And it's like, yay, low threshold, anyone can start a business, and that's beautiful. It definitely creates a gateway to, freedoms and different opportunities and things like that. But like the people aren't ready and they are strange.
Such strange. Wow.
Like, yeah, I don't know. The internet is it's a weird place. Like
it definitely is. I think that, like you said, yay that anybody can start, right? We want everybody to have the opportunity. But be honest if you know that your product or service isn't. Don't charge me $1,000 for recycled information or a mediocre product. Like everybody got to start at $9.99 at some point, and that's okay, right?
Girl.
We all got to start at $9.99, and that's okay. But if you're charging people for certain things, you have to deliver. You have to come through for these people. This is people's hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Scammers. It's like.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
We call them how we over here. Yeah, it's real. It's super real. So like as you're growing and stuff like that, how do you intend to maintain your personal touch? Because like right now, you are the one who is the voice, like literally the voice of the work that you're putting out, which is absolutely beautiful. So like, how do you intend to maintain that same voice?
That's why I like people or bringing people on who have no experience, right? Because it's easy to mold them. It's easy to teach them exactly how you want it. They come in with their eyes wide open, like, teach me, hungry, motivated. Like, if you say cut the bread like this is how I'm going to cut the bread forever because I don't know any other way to cut the bread. This is the only way I know how to do this. Right. So I love interns. I love, students that are fresh out of college. I love people who are super driven and passionate. They have this burning desire. I love being able to mold those individuals, mentor those type of individuals, bring them on board, and then teach them my style of things. And I'm all about vibes. I feel like my vibe attracts my tribe, right? I attract people who are like me and, don't mind duplicating, replicating, and mimicking what it is I am doing in my business.
Yeah.
So that's, pretty important. I can't say that people who have a ton of experience won't do that, but it's easier if they don't, and it's easier to show them like, hey, Philly hair guys, for an example, while it's public knowledge that it's mine, I don't mind people thinking that it's not mine either. So I don't need my intern saying, let me call Andrea for you. It's no need for you to say that, okay, I'm going to get someone to assist you or, something like that. And I think that my touch changes from business to business, right? It was, like I said, super easy to brand Philly hair guys. I'm learning my touch in a few of my other businesses, like Lit Luxury Travels. I think it's going to be a little more complicated in the sense that I feel like this is my baby. I know all of them are my babies, but I feel like this is my baby. Like, whereas Philly hair guys was like, this just some guy's business, right? This is not Andrea's business. This is some guy's business. Whereas like, Lit is mine. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to pass on that touch to the people that I'm currently working with. Maybe that's one of the reasons that I haven't really been delegating. I've been doing a lot of the work with that because I'm still trying to find the voice to that. I'm still trying to find that specialty thing, that oomph, and put that personal touch on it myself.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so real.
Yeah.
That's so real. And it's like, it's almost like you have to, like you almost have to be your own client in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, so I've been spending the year being my own client, and it is by far one of the most introspective and like excavating and grueling, strange experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, there's so many things you just don't think about, like
Right.
Yeah, from like SOPs to how any of this sounds, or like how people interact with me, or what they're like. It's a lot.
Right.
It's so much. Girl.
Yes.
But it's worth it on the other side. And
it is. I think when you start getting that feedback and people start, so I recently booked a group trip for one of my friends, and it was her and 20 other of her friends and colleagues. And the response from her was, wow, amazing, like I love it. But the response from and that was great. Like I was like, okay, but she's my friend, right?
Right.
But the response from her colleagues, the emails, the text messages from them was like, you thought of everything, from your welcome email to your thank you email to your follow-ups to the small touches that you put, in place for when we got there. And, they knew our names, and we had t-shirts, and it was like, wow, like I did that. It's a totally different experience when you hear it from a stranger, or someone who really just doesn't owe you that, right? It's just like, okay, I pay for the service, you gave me a service, and I'm gonna go about my business. But to get that feedback is like, okay, I'm glad I put that extra in. I'm glad that I set that bar high. I'm glad that this is the standard to us, right? People are noticing it. People see it, right? And this is what I would expect if I was on the other end of this.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Like, to have such a good experience. It's the intangibles.
Right.
Like, because people don't, and people don't necessarily think about the intangibles, and that's something that I was actually talking to a client today about, because we were going through their like brand document and like, what do all these things mean? It's just like, well, it's really the feeling.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, like you can produce a product, and anyone can produce a product.
Right.
I can get you to wherever you're going, the island you're going to, whatever.
Right. But what is your experience going to be like between point A and point B? Right. Yeah.
Seriously, it is just that serious. So I love that. Like, and the t-shirt, girl, I love it.
Oh, yes. And you know what? When I was thinking about the travel, and I specialize in group travel, right? So when I was thinking about what my specialty would be, all I could think about was, when I think about traveling, I think about luxury. Like, I'm going to splurge, and I'm going to the spa, and I'm going to spend, some money. I want the best of the best. So when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? I want to cater to that demographic of people who expect luxury every single time they travel, no matter where they're going. Because I don't know too many people that's reaching out to a travel agency to book a motel. So if you're reaching out to a travel agency, you're expecting the small things, right? You don't know what those small things look like, but you're expecting something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's an industry that some may even consider obsolete, because you can do a lot of this booking and stuff online.
Absolutely.
But like what you're bringing to the table is the luxury experience.
Exactly. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I say, this is not for everybody, but what business is. And again, that's a part of finding your niche and being able to cater to that demographic of people, honing in on what those demographic of people really want, in providing that service or whatever it is that they're looking for, right? So, I know it's not for everybody, but I'm not trying to service everybody either, because if you come to me with a $5 budget, I'm going to tell you that I'm unable to assist you. I'm sorry. So yeah,
that $5 budget.
$5 budget. I mean, I don't know. I think that, booking a vacation is definitely something that most people can do, right? Most people can do this. It's not hard. But if you're trying to book a vacation for 20 people, you might need some help. I think you might need some help, right?
Girl, a lot of help. Like,
absolutely.
I don't even know. I was in a group text with my brothers, and we were talking about like family reunion. I'm like, no.
Yep. And those are typically the people who reach out. Family reunions, class reunions. What we've been getting a lot of girls trips, due to COVID and things like that. Everybody's booking for 2021. Nobody can't wait. Everybody's like, I need to see my family. I need to see my girlfriends in South Carolina. I haven't seen, my family from Virginia, so we're getting a lot of that.
I love it. So, the other day I was talking to someone about the idea of picking a therapist, and it made me think of how picking a business coach is kind of the same way, right? Where you kind of have to interview and make sure that you guys are a good fit, and that you can hear each other and understand, what's going to come out of this. Right. So I'm going to ask this from two perspectives, right? So one, you picking your own business coach, because you said you were mentored by the six-figure chick for a couple of years. Right. And maybe there were other business coaches. Like, how did you decide who your mentor was going to be? And then what do you think people should think about when they're thinking about their business coach?
Okay, so first, let me just give a disclaimer that I, maybe 4 years ago, was super against mentoring in any capacity, right? People would reach out to me all the time and ask me to mentor them. And I was totally against it. I was like, I don't know why you think I got my life together to be able to tell you anything, but I promise you I don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I constantly would reject people. I did start mentoring like young girls because I felt like, okay, maybe I'll be able to handle that, but I can't, mentor a grown person. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out adulthood myself. But as I started, growing my business, I started to realize, wait a minute, there has got to be someone out there that I can learn from.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily need to have it all together, but they should be able to show me something, a path. Like, here's my path, and you don't have to take this path because it wasn't necessarily right. I think in my mind, I was a little against business coaches or mentors because I felt like people would place these people on pedestals, not realizing that they had flopped too. They had errors too. They made mistakes too. It wasn't this straight and narrow path.
Yeah.
So once I got past that, I'm like, okay, I need to work with someone who may have, not traveled this straight road, but has gotten to the end of the tunnel at least, right? Or is on a path to the end of the tunnel.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, 6-figure chick, Cece, she started being everywhere. Everywhere. She was everywhere.
Yeah.
And
she did that.
I started following her, and I'm like, I don't know, because she's just selling digital products, right? At the time, I was opening the hair salon. I'm like, I'm going to have a brick and mortar. She doesn't know anything about this. Maybe I should find somebody else. And what I saw in Cece and what made me choose her was her vibe was so authentic. It was not a personal thing. It was like, hey, you have this goal. I can help you get to this goal. We're not going to sit here and try to become BFFs, but if we become friends in the interim, then great. But if not, you still want to reach this goal, right? And I love that about her. I love that she was always very goal oriented, very driven, success driven. And that's how I think about myself. I'm really goal oriented and success driven. And it was, I had come across some other mentors or business coaches along the way. And I felt like they wanted to be my girlfriend, and I didn't want a girlfriend. I wanted you to show me your receipts and tell me how you got that.
Right.
So that was it, and she was that. About 8 months ago, she connected me with Abu, which was her mentor. And before that, I saw him everywhere, right? And I kept saying to myself, I don't need that. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm trying to get into. But the more I talked to Cece and the more she was transparent with me about her growth and how, again, because this is what I wanted. I wanted someone to show me how you got to the end of the tunnel, right? I don't want you to show me your cars or your house or your rings or your vacations. I want you to show me the receipts and the blueprint, how you got there. That's it. So when she started being very transparent with me, and she was, she was always transparent, but the more we worked together, the more transparent she became. And she's like, I think you're getting to a point, Andrea, where you need another business coach. I think that you're kind of outgrowing what I have to offer. And you need a push. She was pushing me, and she's like, but you need like a push. Like, you need somebody to push you to the next level, right? I was always like stuck in this imposter syndrome. I am still stuck there. I still battle with it today. It's like, I don't know who y'all think I am. I don't know if I'm that person or not. I don't know what y'all see. And she would say, Andrea, like, why do you do that? Why are you constantly like, you have the receipts yourself to show and prove? Show them. And I'm like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to, I don't want to do that. Or, so when she introduced me or connected me to Abu and I started working with him, I felt like another business coach may have not did that, right? Another business coach would have
Yeah.
kept me on as a client,
Yeah.
kept me, them reoccurring payments. This is her job. This is what she do. This is what she gets paid for. So if you pass me to someone else, doesn't that, cut that income for you? And this is what I asked her. And she said, it's not about that for me. You brought me on to do a job. I feel like I've done that for you. What else can I give you? You want to keep buying these same packages, keep having these same conversations? What else? There has to be another level. So I think people need to, if they're looking for a business coach, you need to look for someone who is going to be transparent with you, not selling you no dreams and no BS, because a lot of people are. Somebody that's not trying to become your girlfriend or your friend. This is not about friendship. This is business, right?
Yeah.
And when they feel like they have exhausted all of, what they have to offer, be honest enough to say, you know what? This is all I have to offer. I don't have anything else to offer, and maybe I can refer you to this person or that person. For me, that worked, and that's why I respected her so much. That's why every chance I got, I said, you know what? If you're looking for somebody and I'm not the person, you should go with Cece. If it's not me, then go with her, because I feel like everything, or at least 90% of what I know about, the back end of business, I learned from her.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And that's huge to even to have I think I said the word integrity a few times, right? But to have a coach who will allow you to grow. Right? Because obviously you're there to grow. And if there's a limit to what they can do and they are honest with themselves, you have a better potential to grow. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. Yeah. All right, girl. In a world of COVID,
yes.
What's changed for you, and how are you kind of taking care of yourself in all the things?
Everything has changed for everyone, I think, right? Of course, my children are home. I also host the virtual pod place, which is a side hustle of mine. So I have 8 children in addition to my own 3 days a week. So that's that's big. Not being able to get out often with my children or my friends or my family, the precautions that need to be taken, and what I've been doing, because all of this has happened in or around the same time that I transitioned into being a full-time entrepreneur. I just said this earlier. I said, I don't care how much work I have to do. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to set an amount of time, whether it's 4 hours or 6 hours that I'm going to work. And when I get to that limit, that is it. Whatever is not done is not done. Because what I started realizing was that I was working 12, 14, 16-hour days, but I wasn't being as productive because my brain was shut down. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm cranky. I'm not creative. I'm not in a great space. It's just not worth it. And it's not production. You don't get anything done. I'm just sitting in front of my laptop saying that I'm working, and my laptop is just staring back at me. What am I really doing? So for me, self-care is knowing my limits. I hit the 6-hour mark. How many people go to work, and this is how I justify this, right? How many people go to work for 8 hours and work for 8 hours? Nobody works for 8 hours if they're there for 8 hours. We might work for 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 6, right? Because we got to have some breaks and got to get up and walk around and talk to people and, meetings and different things. Nobody. So I feel like, why should I, not why, but how can I expect myself to put in that type of work? And it's more mental work than physical, right? And I feel like that is even more strenuous than physical labor. People don't understand how much goes into thinking and processing, and then you're constantly learning and different things like that. So knowing my limits, I got a 4 to 6 hour limit every day, and that's it. That's it.
She said, cut, that's it.
Nope.
Good night, y'all.
We want to start tomorrow. I started watching TV. I used to pride myself on saying like, oh, I don't watch TV. I don't know what's on. I can't remember the last time. I don't know why I thought that was okay, but whatever. I can't wait to get in, even if it's just for like an hour. And I feel like it allows me to relax my mind, right?
Yeah.
It allows me to slow my thinking down, and I don't have to think about anything. I just need to watch whatever is going on. There's no problem solving involved.
Yeah.
And that feels good to me. Like, that's amazing to be able to like cut the switch off.
Yeah. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. It's like we're building businesses to build lives. We're not like living life to build businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay. So, if there were one thing you can leave with the Busy Girls Brunch crew, like what would you like to leave with these lovely ladies?
Let's see. Just one. Just one thing. Let's see. Whatever it is that you want to do, just do it,
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we get into this mindset of, I can't do it because, and then we make all of these excuses. We let life get in the way. We talk ourselves out of it. And one thing I pride myself on, and I tell this to people over and over again to the point that my kids can repeat this. There isn't anything that I feel like I can't do. If it comes to my mind, I'm like, I might need to call a few people to make this work, but I can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. And I look at it like, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't I? Like, what's stopping me? Me? My own doubt? My own fear? So if there's something that you want to do, just do it now, because we all know and we've all realized, if we didn't realize anything else, but tomorrow's not promised. So just do it. Only thing you can do is fail. It's not the end of the world.
I love that. That's beautiful. I love it. So, Andrea, where do we find you on these internet streets? Like, how do we get in touch? How do we get your course? Like, what's that?
I am everywhere. So primarily I am Andrea Walker. So that's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That is my email address as well, Andrea@IamAndreaWalker.com. I can be found at Love in a Box online, Philly Hair Guys online, Philly Beauty Bar, Lit Luxury Travels. I'm everywhere, literally everywhere. So, yeah.
Y'all find her. You need to find her. That's it. Like, nothing else to do. You need to find her. Yo, seriously, thank you so much for like talking with me and, just having a really good conversation about just, life, business, and all these things coming together. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, seriously. And we'll be in touch for sure. Like, I feel like we don't talk enough. So
we don't. And when you texted me earlier, I was like, I forgot I had her number.
Yeah, right. I was in my thing. I was like, oh yeah. And it said the last time we talked was 2017. Girl.
That's not good at all.
I know.
Not good at all.
And the last time we talked, there was something frustrating.
I saw that. I was like, ooh, yeah. I'm so glad we're past that.
The Lord is good. We're delivered.
Amen.
I love it, girl. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
guys, she is in the group, so be in touch. Like, I'm
yes,
gonna put
definitely reach out to me.
Seriously, I'm gonna put all your stuff in the comment section so people can get up with you. And thanks again.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too, lady. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Andrea she's amazing, and I really do hope you guys stay in touch with her, and follow up with her. All of her amazing businesses. She's great. So one more shameless plug before I get out of here, because I'm actually about to clock out for the evening. Self-care. So again, our course, How Does It Make Money, is our being mine and you guys in the Busy Girls Brunch. I made this for us. It is available on Gumroad. I will put the link in the comments. So my husband and I were talking about my math teacher in high school and how he used to say, a goal without a plan is a wish. Sometimes you're creating something like, you've really started and you're building on these products and these features, but you don't have the foundation, the business plan. And that is what this course helps you understand: your audience, your revenue streams. What else? Like, what it even costs to run a business. Like, it's a lot. A lot of the really meaty, digging down kind of stuff. So if this is something you need, if this is something you want, it is only $37 and it is available for you. So I will put that in the comment section. If you get it, send me an email, let me know. And I would be happy to hear from you about your experiences with it. Okay, so it's time to shut it down. So excited, guys. So have an amazing evening. Be great. Love you so much. And I'll see you next week with more Flourish Talks.